Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, and today I'm here to show you a nested hand tie. Yes, I said hand tie. It's in a vase, but look how beautiful it is. Without the vase, you could wrap it in tissue and enjoy, or do it as I did and set it in a vase. Let me show you how. In addition to your favorite fresh flowers, there's just a few things you need to create the nest. It's based upon a wire wreath ring. Now you can buy them with single rings or multiple. You want the multiple. That makes it so much easier to work. To attach, I just use bind wire in the natural green color. Then the base is the deciduous huckleberry and fabulous bear grass. This is nice and long and trailing. The two materials, the ring, the bind wire, and you have the perfect base. Get ready ahead of time by cutting some of the bind wire. You just need 2-inch length, many of those, so you don't need to have to stop and cut it later. So I go through and cut quite a few, about 2 inches each. Then taking the huckleberry, start organizing it, breaking it apart into smaller pieces with bare stems going down. If it's too long, give it a cut and bring it back down into your hand. Repeat that. Tying it all together visually by just holding it, removing the lower pieces, looking for anything broken. Maybe there's some leaves that you want to pluck off so you have the barren branches. Then once you have a start of it in your hand, that's going to go down and through the frame. And you're going to start by actually tying it to the frame in a few spots. So I take and just grab some branches and lash them directly to the ring, maybe 3 spots. You don't have to worry about how perfect this is because it's not going to really show later. At this point, you're just trying to get some substantial base that will support all your flowers as you get done. So I've got 2, 1 more, hooking it to the frame. Then I start over. Get a few more pieces of the huckleberry, holding it in my hand. And this time, taking the frame and setting it down in so that it's going to go underneath. And you can see how I've got now some from the top, some from the bottom, and go back and wire that together once again. Next step is to take your base and cut it down a bit. You're not going to need all of this. And then to make it easier to work, just set it into a vase of water. That way it'll drink, hold secure for you, and you can start doing your wrapping with the bear grass. You want to cut off the white ends. They're not quite as attractive. Get down to the green portion, and then using that sharp, blunt end, weave it through and around, and just pressing the huckleberry down against the wreath. And continue winding through and around, pulling it. And then when you reach a stopping point, grab some of the huckleberry, some of the bear grass, and tie it into place using your bind wire. And as you work, everything will get tidy, and you'll get better and better substantial wreath base with every insertion. So again, it's just taking it and weaving it through, grabbing some of the huckleberry and pulling it, and then wrapping it around, through, and around. And basically, you're using the bear grass to tie all the huckleberry down, and then periodically take it so that it won't flip loose on you. Find your ends and tie it together. Find that end, bring it up and over, using a little bit of the bind wire, and lashing it, twisting, and then starting again, more bear grass, tucking, pulling, winding, until you end up with the perfect nest, just like this. Once you have your nest complete, you want to pick your favorite vessel. I wanted something a little substantial with a nice opening and a lot of water reservoir. I'm going to add just some brown polished river rock into the bottom. Taking care as I place it in so that I don't break the vase. Then adding my water. And then just dropping it in. And as I do so, forcing it to tip slightly down over the lip so I have a nice angle to the placement. This base you can make up days, even weeks in advance. It's going to last and last and last. Then when it's time, you add the flowers. And as the flowers fade, you can go back, pull them out, rinse, replace with fresh water, and use the same nest with more flowers again. It's an incredibly long-lasting, fabulous design technique. Then I cut my stems, cutting them short enough that they'll just set right down in. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, maybe even a tiny bit shorter. You don't want it to be above the nest. You want to settle it into place, tuck down low. A little bit of the miniature hydrangea, some hyacinths. These are from Sun Valley Farms. They're so fabulous. They were hydrated completely, leaving the basil plate on. But now that they're hydrated, I can cut them down. And they're a fresh cut. And tuck them in. And they'll give me long-lasting, fabulous fragrance in this design. Let me put two of them tucked in together. Then a ranuncula, so soft and lacy. Letting it come in right with the hydrangea, finding a hole in the nest, maybe a second. And even the bud, tucking it right down in there, double checking that it's going into the water. A parrot tulip. Knowing it's going to grow, so I'm going to tuck it down very low so that as it grows, it'll still stay within the arrangement. And then looking at it from all sides, making sure it looks beautiful, no matter which way you look. Now, I'm just going to add a little bit of wax flower to give a laciness over the top of everything. Maybe leaving it a little bit longer, and then tucking it in, weaving it between the other blossoms, down into the water. Maybe out towards the front. You can see it just adds a little feminine touch to the design. Bring it back here. Now the finished arrangement can go just like this in the vase. But what's even more fabulous is this design could be a hand tie. You just wrap in tissue and deliver as a gift. It's absolutely wonderful as a hand tie or in the vase. Fun and easy. The nested hand tie is something you're going to want to master and then use year-round. Try it with different materials, not just grasses and bulb flowers, but maybe lilies, roses, curly willow, so many different things that you could nest and then tuck right inside to enjoy. So now it's your turn. If you need help, if you've got questions or just need a little more inspiration, you can find us on the website at flowerschool.com or pick up the telephone at 1-800-819-8089. We're here to help you. And of course, as I always say, send me a picture so I can see what you've done. You can use my personal email. It's Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. Now it's your turn. Have fun and do something you love.